Hi ladies, welcome to our Panini. This is Sarah Tova Best. Let's talk about distance. The distance between a problem and a solution. What does it feel like when we're in the midst of a problem? Not what we know, what we feel. Would you say that most people feel that when you're in the middle of a problem, it feels like there really is no solution? We're never going to get out of this. If we're in a little better shape, we feel like here's the problem and the solution might be somewhere hundreds, thousands, millions of miles away, a convoluted journey all the way till you come to the solution, if you could possibly find it. If you're in a little better shape, you might feel that it's somewhere there, not so far away. That's the general feeling. There's this massive gap between problem and solution. Okay, if that's the case, let me tell you a little story and then let's reframe it according to the Parsha. Before Pesach, before Passover, we were connecting our gas stove, our gas cooktop. This is a little portable thing. You take it out of a box, you hook it up to the gas pipe behind the stove. Well, great. What happened? I noticed that the caps on top of the burners were missing. Now the problem is, if you don't have those caps, then the fire comes up in one column and you can't cook with it. So this was one day before Pesach, and we're left with a kind of a crisis. How are we going to cook? We didn't really have extra time to start going to different places. Buying a new cooktop would have been impossible for all kinds of practical reasons. So we pursued many different alternatives. My husband went to Home Depot and Lowe's and lots of different things. In the end, what he had to do was buy sheet metal and cut out circles and try different sizes and put them on top, and it finally worked. So he improvised something for this year that took a lot of hours at a time when he didn't have those extra hours, and kind of a lot of maybe we could call it stress. So we kind of knew that after the holiday, 8 days later, we would find these 4 little caps somewhere. We looked everywhere. We looked in the box, we looked in other boxes, in the cupboard, in this and that. We looked everywhere and it was nowhere to be found. Just like I mentioned at the beginning, you've got this problem. We need these caps that we know are there. And yet it seems like it's a million miles to the solution, to finding them. So we found this temporary solution. So very much I was in that space of, wow, where could the solution be? Now, okay, with that in mind, let's jump back to a principle. There's a principle that says, Ki karev elecha davar miyad. The thing is very near to you. Which means that if you're in the midst of a problem, the solution is right there. It's very near to you. It's right there. Does it feel like it? We just said not. But is it there? Ki karev elecha davar miyad. The thing is very close to you. Okay, we have an oxymoron. It feels like this. It feels like this, and it really is that. Well, what do you think happened? The holiday ended. We disconnected the stovetop. I cleaned it. I picked it up. As I was carrying it to put it in the box for next year, clang, I heard something fall. I look on the floor. There's a little sandwich bag with 4 little covers, metal tops, neatly in there, that fell out. Out of where? Obviously, the year before, when I put everything in the box, they somehow fell in between the pipes underneath the cooktop. And they were tucked in there, which means a few things. They were a 1/4 of an inch away from the site of the problem. The whole holiday, the whole Passover, while I was cooking and wondering, I wonder where they are, they were a 1/4 of an inch away, right underneath where I was cooking, but invisible, because there was a cooktop. But they were on the other side of this. How thick is the cooktop? 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, let's say. They were underneath this 1/8 of an inch cooktop. They were right there. My solution was right there, exactly where my problem was, but I couldn't see it. So that was a wow. I kind of knew something like that would happen. That was a wow. And it made me think about the following concept. If I only had an app that could take the distance that I feel when I'm in a problem, which, as I said, it feels like it's millions of miles away. There's a long stretch from problem to solution. It feels that way. If I could sync up my feeling to match the reality is there's no distance at all between problem and solution, often. Could I create an app that lets me experience the truth? There's no distance. When I'm in a problem, I'm in a solution. What me worry? Problem, solution. If only I could feel that. And so I discovered in the Sikha of this week, in the Sikha of Tazria Metzora, the Lubavitcher Rebbe says the following, that when you want to go from Gullus to Geula, which we could effectively say Gullus is when you're in problems, and Geula is when you're in solutions. If we want to go from Gullus to Geula, yes, it is a very long journey, but there is a fast track that cuts the whole convoluted line in and circular curly line into one straight line. Just cuts the whole thing. You know how you edit something online, you edit a video or an audio, you just cut the whole space. It cuts the whole thing. And the way it's expressed is the following. The Derech HaYashara, Ezi Derech HaYashara, as it says in Pirkei Avos, what is the straight ways? The straight, short line, Sheyavar Mina Adam, what is the straight line for a person to go from Gullus to Geula? Kolshi Tiferes Le'asev, Tiferes, I don't remember the words, Tiferes of Tyra. What is this straight line that cuts out the whole distance between my problem and my solution? It is, as the Rebbe says, Tiferes, which is Torah, Tiferes of Malchus. The day that the Rebbe spoke was Malchus of Tiferes. It is the study within Torah of the ideas of Mashiach. It's called Limud Inyanim Mashiach U'Geula. The study of Mashiach. Everything about Mashiach, the mindset, the delving into the reality of Mashiach, the going into the deep secrets of Mashiach, the Torah of Mashiach. By putting our minds into that, we effectively have created an app that enables us to cut out that distance between problem and solution. Because, let's be honest, in Messianic times and Mashiach times, there won't be any space between problem and solution. That's why we won't experience problems. The second we have the problem, there will be the solution. We won't notice that there was a problem that stimulated the solution. All we will have will be doorways to new levels of revelation of truth. Without that experience of, oh, I have the problem. We'll just go into solution and then higher solution and higher solution. That hard part will be cut out. Says the Rebbe, you can cut it out now. You can begin to live in that mindset. You can begin to train your system, your mind, your heart to experience the way you will experience it in the future, to start to feel it now by delving into the learning of Inyanim Mashiach U'Geula. Tiferes Shebemalchus. What is the straight way? Tiferes. Learn Inyanim Mashiach U'Geula. Learn about Mashiach. So ladies, obviously, once we learn that and we permeate our minds, then we want to flesh out the steps to, how do I exactly do this? What would I do? And there are lots of little interesting, complex steps along the way. And we become enabled to come to that creative thinking when we put our minds into learning Inyanim Mashiach U'Geula. So let's jump in, take the dive. find the solutions that are there right under the cooktop without having to wait the 8 days, but knowing immediately, wait a minute, I'm in a problem, oh, I'm in a solution, and seeing if miracles don't unfold in our lives. And then we wait for the ultimate miracle of the full revelation of Mashiach, so that there will be no more problems, and may it be immediately now. Thanks so much.